29 years, that's how long I've been training, since I was 14. Back then, I was just a kid, a skinny kid in a small room in the south of France. I didn't have a coach, I didn't have Instagram, of course it didn't exist back then. I didn't even know what protein powder was. But what I did have was rage, insecurity, and a deep, silent frustration. I didn't like my reflection. I didn't like my voice. I didn't like the way people looked at me or didn't look at me. So I started training push-ups in my room, sit-ups, abs, every night alone, no plan, no guidance, just a kid trying to build something that felt unshakable. And I trained like that for years because in my mind, training wasn't about health, it wasn't about aesthetics, it was about survival, about becoming strong enough so that life couldn't humiliate me again. At 16, I entered a real gym for the first time and I fell in love with the iron, with the silence, with the pain. Because in the pain, I found control, I found certainty. And I told myself one day, I'd be on stage. One day I have the body that commands respect, that say this man doesn't break. I chased that feeling for nearly 3 decades and it got me far over 35 competitions, an IFBB PRO card, thousands of clients transformed. But here's the truth, not everything I did was right. Not everything I did made me better. And now, at 43, with more scars than medal, more wisdom than pride, I want to tell you what I do differently. Because if you're 35, 40, 45, even 50, and you think it's too late, you're wrong. It's not too late. It's just time to train differently. Time to train smarter, wiser, more aligned. So let's talk, man to man. Let me show you what 29 years of pain, discipline, and transformation taught me, and what it could save you if you are ready to listen. For over a decade, I trained with one obsession: get bigger, get leaner. My split looked like a war plan. Chest, triceps, back biceps, legs, shoulder, repeat, zero flexibility, zero listening to my body, just grind. I believed in the hustle. I believed that the guy who suffered the most won. If I wasn't in pain after a workout, it wasn't worth it. If I missed a session, I felt guilty. Rest was weakness. Stretching was for the soft. And cardio only in prep. I remember prepping for my first competition. Dry chicken, broccoli, no salt, no carbs for weeks. Fasted cardio, heavy lifting, sometimes twice a day, every day. And when I won, I felt empty. Because everything I had sacrificed never healed what was broken inside me. I trained through injuries, elbows, shoulders, lower back. I tapped it up, pushed harder, because in my head, pain was normal. Pain meant I was progressing. But here's the problem. Pain unaddressed becomes permanent damage. And then came December 2017. Herniated disc, surgery, misdiagnostic, infection, 3 months in the hospital bed, couldn't walk, couldn't even move, couldn't even turn without help. They said I might never walk again. They gave me oxycodone, a wheelchair, no answer. I had to start over from zero, wearing a corset, using a walker, doing rehab with my wife, loading the machines. It was the first time in my life where training wasn't an option. I had to rebuild not just my body, but my identity. Because when you've built your entire value on your physique and it's taken away in a week, you either break or you evolve. And I choose to evolve. That injury wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Because for the first time, I had to listen to my body. And when you're lying in a hospital bed for more than 3 months, you hear a lot of things you used to ignore. I realized I had built my entire identity around being strong outside, but I had never cultivated strength inside. That's when I learned some brutal truth. More is not better. If intensity becomes obsession, you'll burn out or break. Pain is not always progress. There's a difference between challenge and self-destruction. Rest is not weakness. It's where growth actually happens. I used to fear it. Now I respect it. Stretching and mobility aren't optional. After 40, there's the difference between freedom and suffering. Hormones matter. No one talks about it, but if you're tired, foggy, and losing muscle after 40, it's not just aging, it's biology. I wish I had done blood tests earlier, monitored my test, managed it proactively. Your mental health is your foundation. I had strengths, but I wasn't at peace. My mindset was punishment-based, fear-based. I didn't train from love, I trained from anger. Identity is more powerful than motivation. Motivation fades, but when you become the kind of man who train no matter what, everything changes. What I learned is this: your 40s aren't a decline, there's a call to consciousness. It's when your body starts demanding that you evolve. And if you fight that call, life will teach you through pain. But if you listen, it will reward you with clarity, power, and peace. Today, I train differently because I live differently. I still train 5 to 6 days a week, but now every session has a purpose. Not to prove something, not to punish myself, but to build a body and a mindset that lasts. I follow a hybrid approach: strength, hypertrophy, mobility, recovery. I alternate full body and upper-lower splits. I lift heavy but never sloppy. I train hard but I respect my nervous system. I walk daily, I stretch daily, I breathe. I take care of my spine, my core, my sleep, my hormone. I'm still on TRT because for me it's part of optimizing the machine, but it's not a shortcut. It's a responsibility. And I don't train alone anymore. I train in front of my son. I train for my family because the man Nolan sees every day will become his model. I want him to see that strength is not about ego. It's about standards. Today, I don't train for summer. I train for 20 years from now to play football with my son when I'm 60, to wake up pain-free, to carry my purpose until the end. That's what training is for me now. A ritual, a gift, a commitment to the man I'm becoming every damn day. If you're still watching, maybe you felt the same weight I carried for years. The pressure to prove, the fear of slowing down, the shame of pain you never talked about. But listen to me, your body is not your enemy. Your pain is not a curse, it's a signal, and you have a choice. Keep doing what's slowly killing you or rebuild. Not just your muscle, but your mindset, your values, your legacy. You don't need to train more, you need to train better. You need to train like a man who knows where he's going. I trained like a warrior for 29 years. Now I train like a guardian, like a builder, like a father. And I'm telling you, from one man to another, it's not too late to change everything, because your body is not just your shell, it's your truth. It's the mirror of who you are and who you choose to become. So don't chase perfection, chase alignment. Don't chase youth, chase presence. And when your son or your future self looks you in the eye, let him see a man who didn't quit, a man who revealed. If this resonated with you, share it with a man who needs it. And if you're ready to rebuild from the inside out, download my free guides, 5 rituals that rebuild my life after 40. The link is in the description of this video. And remember, it's not about looking strong, it's about being strong where it matters most.